And in this video, I want to talk about 5 things to look out for when you're actually losing a sale. Hi, this is Matt Elwell from the Elite Closing Academy. Check me out at eliteclosingacademy.com. In this video, I want to cover the 5 things that you need to look out for as a professional salesperson for when you are losing a sale. So, look, first thing you must always make sure that you do when you're in a sales conversation is to make sure that there's an energy, a good feeling. Look, so much of what we do in sales is about how we feel. And remember, human beings are really, really, really powerful things. So we have something that I describe in my training as the funnel of fear inside us. So it's that sort of that gut feeling, that awareness of others, the way you look at people, the way you shake each other's hand. You know, you can decide in like an instant touch when you shake someone's hand, for example, of whether you like them or not, whether you trust them or not. It's a feeling from the moment you touch someone, which is quite incredible, really, when you think about it. So, look, number 1 is you can feel when a sales situation is not where it needs to be. And that will always be something that you can control. So when the feeling isn't right, always go towards yourself and what you could do right now to change that feeling. So that's the first thing. The second thing is you'll always know when you're losing a sale, when you literally are doing all the talking. So if you're explaining and you're telling them how it works and they haven't spoken for a bit, you will literally be the opposite of where you need to be, which is to join the conversation in their head is where you need to be. So just look out for it. Point number 2 here is if you're doing all the talking in a sales conversation, I promise you, you're doing it wrong. The 80-20 rule, you hear it all over the place. Like literally, it should be 20% of the time you, 80% of the time them. And here's the skill, is when your prospect is choosing, that's when you're in control. So powerful questions that allow them to decide is really important. Now, number 3, the other thing that you must look out for is if you are explaining how it all works, you're losing. Explaining is losing in any negotiation, in any sales situation. Now, I can already hear, because I hear it in my live training all the time, people come up and they go, when somebody says in the business world, in a sales interaction, how does it all work? Salespeople across the globe think that is the green light to just start telling. And when you're telling, you're hard selling. Great selling is asking. So the skill here is to make sure that you don't explain minutiae. A quick explanation at a high level as an answer to a question, and then return a question back is the way to do it. We call it in the Elite Closing Academy a push and a pull. I'm going to give you an example. If somebody says, so Matt, what do I get at your 3-day trading? I'd say, great question. Always acknowledge a great question. Great question. We're going to teach you how to close more sales. What else do you need to know? So I'm answering the question at a nice high level. It's giving logical information. And rather than presuming or assuming to know what information they need, which is explaining here's how it all works and this is what we do and da-da-da-da-da, that is not good selling. In fact, it's awful. In the 21st century, if you're doing that, you've got to stop it. So the skill is to answer on a high level so it fills the logical brain and then ask what else you need to know. Very, very simple. Number 4, look out for this. In a negotiation, if the person, the other side of the negotiation, it's really important that you listen out for what they use as a neurological lying stall. We lie to each other all the time from a place of love. It's a protection thing. Here's a few lies that we tell all the time. Buyers will answer the phone. They don't sound busy. They're like, hello. You go, hi, this is Matt. And they go, yeah, I'm busy. That's just a lie. They're not busy. The only thing they were busy doing was answering the computer phone to you. Here's another one. Yeah, I'm just in a meeting. Can I ring you back? It can't be much of a meeting. So, look, we've got little neurological lying stalls. Buyers have scripts and stalls and excuses. There's so many salespeople out there, and over 90% are not professional salespeople. Elite closers, which is why I'm here. It's what we do for a living. is to teach people how to do this. So listen out for stalls, deflections, not objections because I'm busy, ring me back later. Pop it on an email. That's an excuse. It's not an objection. Pop it on an email. Like, nobody needs to read an email to make a decision as to whether or not you're important to them. They already know. They've already decided. Making decisions is instant. You already know whether or not somebody has something that you might possibly need or benefit from. You already know whether they're relevant to you. So, look, number 4 is to look out for excuses and treat them as such. Just deal with the excuse and then carry on. Just handle the excuse, move on, ask a question. It's so important. You'll know you're losing if people are batting you off. Our prospects should be committed. They should be looking at ways to rearrange their diary to have a meeting with you to exchange the contract, not using the diary against you. If they are, you're doing something wrong. You need to ask more questions. Last but not least, the thing to look out for, I think the most, is what I call surface level answers and surface level conversations. I teach a prospecting script called Punt with a Q. It's a system rather than a script. And Punt with a Q is about asking powerful questions that get to the truth during the prospecting process. So when you sell it, not when you close it. So finding out pain, urgency, need, trust, and the Q is the key bit here, is like quantitative, measurable details that are helpful to both parties before you put something in writing. So this allows you to get below the surface level answers. Things like, yeah, we'd like to be a bit more productive. Like, don't leave on the word productive. You've got to say, I understand you want to be a bit more productive. And then you've got to deep dive using the Q, what that actually means. So just before we move on from productive, help me understand, how productive are you now on a scale of 0 to 10? 10 is the whole team's on it like a car bonnet, 0 is you're rubbish. What number would you give yourself? See, that's a measurable that they're giving you as helpful information. And it's no longer on the surface. You're coming down below the surface of the word productive and looking to understand it. Stop talking about cost effectiveness, time saving, financial freedom. All these big promises, they're all surface words. Get underneath them. What do they mean? And more importantly, by not having the promise, what's the problem to your customer? And that's how you sell. Understand deeply and the truth. Use a system like mine, Punt with a Q. Find out when you're selling the truth, measurable information. And that puts you in a great position to decide whether or not you can help, whether or not you can solve, and whether or not you can stop selling and start closing. If you've enjoyed this video, then a couple of things to do. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, ping the notification bell, and there's a few other things. Just check out above me. You can download my book, Open with a Close. It's perfectly free, and you can check out loads more videos.